Hey guys, this is Frank Minetti, Advisors Mortgage Freehold Branch Manager. Hope you guys are having a great day. I want to talk to you guys about something we've been dealing with inside the mortgage industry, and especially since the pandemic hit. And that's people having some gaps and changes in their work history. One of the most important things, if not the most important thing you need, is a work history when you're applying for financing. And I wanted to give you guys some tips and some knowledge about how we look at your employment so you can avoid some of these problems and pitfalls, but also if you're considering a job change or a move, we can get you on the right path to getting your mortgage approved based on your work history. So first and foremost, what we look at is we go back 2 years. 2 years is the sweet spot and the important time frame of a mortgage history. Why has that become a challenge since the pandemic? Well, I'll give you my personal opinion and some of the opinion of industry insiders. So what we saw in the pandemic is now going to post-pandemic. A lot of people went remote, right? Companies had to shift gears and learn how to operate remotely, which was good during the pandemic, and it's still good. But what we're finding out about is now is people are being called back to the workplace. Hey, we want you to come back to your office. People are getting used to working from home, finding out it works for them, and they're deciding if their employer's taking a hard standpoint, you know what, we want you to come in the office, and they want to either work from home or have a hybrid schedule where both is involved, they're leaving their employers. They're going to find that schedule that they want. Hey, look, that's a life choice and there's nothing wrong with that. But we need to know the potential pitfalls that can cause when you're applying for your mortgage. So if you're a salaried individual and you leave your job today and you want to buy a house tomorrow, and that you go from a salaried position to a new salaried position, important. Remember, I'm saying the word salaried, not paid hourly. Hourly pay is not salary. Even if you work 40 hours a week, every week, you're not on salary. It means it's not a guarantee. But if you're salaried and you go from job to job, same field, right, and you leave one job today, you go to job number 2 tomorrow, we can use that salary. So that's an easy fix. But if you're somebody that's paid what we call variable income, meaning hourly, again, it's not about consistency. Hey, I work 40 hours a week every week. We see that maybe from the job you're leaving. And I'm going to use what we see a lot. We see a lot in the medical profession, especially where nurses are involved. And look, nurses and our first responders that went through the pandemic, man, kudos and hats off to them for what they went through and what they're doing. And they should take advantage of the financial opportunities that are available to them. But we're seeing people, and we're seeing nurses specifically, leaving hospitals and going to work maybe in a traveling nurse situation where they had a track record of being 2-3 years at the hospital. We could see all their pay structure for the last couple of years. Going to a position, it's not guaranteed. We don't know the amount of hours they're going to work. That's where the problem lies. If it's a brand new position, recent, couple weeks, couple months, and we don't have a track record of knowing how their pay is going to work, and maybe it is variable to the point where they're 40 hours one week, 30 hours another week, 70 hours another week. We don't have enough of a time frame to put a finger on what that variable income looks like. Is that an automatic stop? No. What does that mean? Something else we need to research. We got to reach out to the human resources department. We need to get a live person on the line, somebody that's going to give us a letter that says, you know what, they're guaranteed a minimum of 40 hours a week. So that's the kind of things we're challenged with, pandemic and post-pandemic, is people switching jobs. Again, if you go from salaried to salaried, not a problem. If you're going from variable income to variable income, we need to make sure we can document a minimum amount of hours that your employer is willing to guarantee you. A lot of employers are reluctant to do that. The reason being is they don't want to put in writing something they're unsure of. So speak with your employer. We should all have a good relationship with our human resources department, right? Speak to your employer if you're deciding to purchase a property and you fall into one of these categories. Get them to feel them out a little bit so they kind of know where your head's at and what you're thinking about going. Again, if you have questions regarding variable employment, click the link in my bio. We're going to talk to you about your specific employment situation. The other thing we find a lot of too, more than ever, is people working a couple jobs. That's awesome, right? You have a full-time job, you have a part-time job. But here's what's important. When it comes to financing time, if you're doing a conventionally financed mortgage, right? In order to use both those incomes, you have to be working that part-time job, at least be on it for 1 year with no gap, not even a gap of a week. You have to be working that part-time job for 1 year straight with a 2-year history of also working a part-time job. So we got to know that this is nothing new to you. You've always been able to maintain your schedule. You can hold down 2 jobs, and you've been on that most recent one for at least 12 months. When it comes to government financing, it's a hard stop rule. You got to have a 2-year history of working a part-time job. It's that simple, no gaps in between, right? So keep that in mind. If that's you, you want to talk about qualifying for your mortgage using your full-time job and your part-time job, click the link in the bio. We're going to talk to you about your situation. Again, guys, if you're considering any move while thinking about purchasing a property, reach out to us. We want to give you the information, the tools you need so that you can switch jobs and not put your mortgage financing in jeopardy. It's one of the biggest things we're seeing today in 2022. So again, click the link in the bio, reach out to us. We want to help you accomplish your home buying needs. Again, this is Frank Minetti, Branch Manager, Advisors Mortgage Freehold. We look forward to helping you with anything you guys need.